Ironclaw does come with a Game Master screen. It's bad. It does not contain the information that a GM would need on a moment's notice. Which is to say, I would much rather have like the little name listing on here than, or just like a whole list of all the species that are there. You know, information you can use to quickly put things together. It's also 11 pages long, which is one hell of a screen. Transport by around sea. Gosh, why did they do it like this? How are you supposed to put this together? Put all the weapons in a single... Wow. Alright. If I recall correctly, last time, you bunch of dorks snuck your way through a warehouse and eventually made your way over to a strange bakery where supposedly things are moving around. Or being moved to, or something. I don't know what you know. How about you fill in the details for once? I would love to start off a session one day, and one of my players is just like, I wanna say what happened. I wanna recap so everyone knows where we are. Let's go and put up the little fist like a little baby man. They go, eh. And they hit the screen.
Into a warehouse. We found some documents on where
the Elementalist murdered a man.
Yeah.
Yes. On the whereabouts of where the guy might be that we're looking for, and now we're moving to the bakery. But we are in the bakery.
You have already entered the bakery successfully, yes.
Yeah.
You've managed to sneak your way into the basement. Forgot what the basement.
Well, not yet. As we were going down, I think that's when we stopped.
Well, the basement's about what you'd expect from a bakery. There's a variety of barrels and boxes all around the place, presumably filled with things needed for making bread crafts. You were presented... Well, what light source did you bring? Because at this point you're going underground. You can't see unless you have a light source of some sort with you.
A torch would make sense.
Getting smoky in here.
Or perhaps one of the spells that the Elementalist has.
They could provide you with a little flame, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing quite as delightful and subtle as what a thaumaturge can pump out, but hey. Well, at a first glance, this appears to be a conventional basement. Something that I just realized. Oh, we'll get to that. Well, what do as you're presented with this basement? You don't hear any particular noises that stand out immediately.
I would like to walk the perimeter and see if there's anything that stands out, like scratches on the floor.
The basement, by the way, is composed out of compacted dirt. The floor is compacted dirt, and the walls are... Well, there's some wooden beams to keep the whole wall from collapsing inwards. But for the most part, it's just like that. Barrels are stacked on their sides, by the way. Only a few upright. And those have big lids on them. Scanning the perimeter of this place, your nostrils briefly flare up as a foul smell tickles it briefly. The smell of smoke.
Where's that smoke coming from? Or at least the smell of it. If we only have the Elementalist light, there shouldn't be any smoke.
Well, technically the Elementalist lights. Well, if you want to give that a go, I need to look up something real fast because I'm dumb and I forgot to write down everything on your species. And this is one of those moments where something actually comes in quite important. One of the traits that all species have in Ironclaw is that their senses sometimes, some senses are just better for certain races. Bats hear particularly well, etc., etc. For Komodos, that is spot. So unfortunately, you don't have this. In that case, just roll me mind and searching.
Okay.
That's my mind and searching.
The target was 3, right?
The target number is usually 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw in.
Nah. You see the Komodo slide around the room to eventually You're standing beside what is a very tightly stacked heap of boxes that are very closely pressed together so that there's minimal seam between them. And a third one is standing on the middle of the two of them. Each box is well reinforced, and they sit on a bit of the ground where, for one, the smoke seems to come from, the smoky smell, and two, the floor is off. It appears to be suspended on a small platform.
Can I try to move it? The boxes, I mean.
As you grab onto the boxes and begin to push them,
Mhm.
you notice that all the boxes are sort of nailed together.
So they're on a hinge or something.
No, it's just that all three boxes are one big sort of stack of boxes.
Oh.
It's not nailed to the floor or anything. It's just that it's a lot of weight to push around.
Okay. Am I strong enough for this?
I mean, you have two other people with you, so
Okay.
you could just combine your forces for something as this.
That would work. Brian, can you help me?
I will assist.
What do you do?
Well, ideally push the box in the same direction altogether.
Gotcha. You all begin pushing against the boxes. They're not that heavy. They seem to be unfilled. And as you push them and they slide across the ground, you get that usual sound you would expect to hear as metal scrapes along wood. And in the process of doing so, you will reveal that the small wooden platform they were on is actually a wooden rim that surrounds a staircase that leads downwards. Now that the boxes are out of the way, your ears pick up that there is a brief whisper downstairs, but then silence.
Was it just a noise or?
There's definitely whispers, you know, the kind of
Right.
the sharp hissing S's.
Right. Is it something I would recognize as other lizards, maybe?
No. It is quite difficult to tell someone's species by a very brief whisper alone. The passage down below is mostly composed of dirt and wooden reinforcements, until it suddenly shifts into a stone environ, as if it descends into some sort of secondary cellar.
Okay. I would ask Brian to go first, since they're the sneakiest.
I am sneaky. I will take the lead.
Are you awake, Sally? Sound a little tired.
Trying to get fully awake. I'll be fine.
Cool. What is this? God dang it. Slowly, you make your way down, as you always tend to sneak around. Step by step. As you do, you eventually see the glimmers of a light source down below. You are about a floor or two down into the ground when this light source just appears within your vision at the end of the staircase. It's a straight cut down, by the way. You are not taking any turns. You are just straight down. And, well, as you the further you go, you eventually see a large room, like the stairway ends, and it opens up into a large flat space where a table has been assembled. There's several, 2 tables and some furnishings, chairs mostly, as well as plates upon which sits food.
Any movement? Any noises?
Nothing that you would passively pick up on, no.
Okay.
But you're not here, Necromancer. Your friend has gone ahead.
Right.
I'm going to cautiously look around because I really don't want to get caught off guard.
Taking a second look around the place. The smell of food is stronger here than the smell of smoke. And there's a torch, well, a set of torches that's suspended from the sort of chandelier structure as you slowly get down low enough that you can actually properly look into the room instead of just having this tunnel vision. Give me a observation, mind observation.
Click mind and observation.
A quick scan around the room reveals to your senses that there is something unusual. While most of the chairs are pressed up against the table, about 5 of them are pushed slightly backwards.
That would mean that there were people. Probably.
Almost certainly.
Very rude people who didn't push their chairs back in.
By the way, you are still like a few steps up. You are not properly in the room or anything. So there's still some about the room that you can't quite see. You can't see the other wall, for example. Not because of darkness, but purely because of sight lines.
Yay, angles. Well, I'm going to take a couple more steps and try to get to see the whole room.
Be careful.
As you slide down. Why can't your character see anything? Oh, it's because you're on the stairs. That's why. Once you slide down into the room, you see all of it. There, on the other side of the wall, there are 2 doors sticking in the wall. They are pretty decent doors made out of wood, but even from here you can tell that the metal components are quite rusted, browning around the edges. Off to your left, which is Force, the right, is a large set of like proper, sturdy, solid metal doors that seal off some kind of area. And that's about all you see from your current position.
Well, I'm going to indicate for them to come down then, since I don't see anyone else.
Okay. That's a quick question.
Yes.
Gosh, refreshing gifts and such.
Yes.
Could you remind me how it works?
Well, I made a little thing for it, but what gift are you specifically trying to refresh? Because there's...
Well, when we were in the warehouse last week, I exhausted a gift, and I was wondering if it would be possible to
you have...
get back.
There are 4 main ways that a gift can get exhausted. You have your battle gift. Those refresh immediately at the start of combat. Don't have to worry about that stuff. There's your respite gifts. Those are marked with an R. Those are gifts that you get back after a night's rest. There's S gifts, which usually have their own rules. And then there's C gifts, which are chapter gifts. And there's also influence gifts, but those are like specific and weird, and only a few characters have them anyway, so.
I see. Well, I did use the horror gift, I assume.
Well, that's tied to the Necromancy Apprentice. It's one of...
I see. Yeah, and it does tell me that currently the Necromancy Apprentice is exhausted.
What do you want to use it for? Like, you wish to refresh it right now.
Well, I would like to assume that I would refresh it as we go, if that's possible.
As I just mentioned,
From
Como,
workouts.
all battle gifts are refreshed before a battle starts.
Oh, fair enough.
So-
Oh, so because it's marked as a weapon, it would be a... Okay.
It's a nicety the game has, because otherwise people get all argumentative about, no, but I would have refreshed it, and it's like, no one wants to bother with that.
Yeah, it just happens at the start of the turn.
I mean, in some systems, like 13th Age encounter powers and the like, sometimes require you to take a quick fix-up. And in those cases, it makes sense that it would be a bit more involved, because there's more things tied into it. But
Yeah.
in this game, it's one action. You can do it whenever. Like, you can assume that between battles you've already taken care of it, as long as you don't immediately drop into a new one.
Mhm.
Anyway, what you want to do is you slip and slide down the staircase.
Well, do it once over. To see if perhaps Brian has missed something. Just in case.
I mean, you know what? Go ahead. Roll me that mind observation. And include your species, because spot is something you're good at. You have
Okay.
those lizard eyes.
Mind
Flutter, flutter.
observation. And what do I add? Just
Species.
D12?
Species.
Okay. Let's see how that works.
You notice nothing out of the ordinary that Brian hasn't already observed. It is a room with food in it.
That makes sense.
The air here is quite humid, and you do notice that there's a distant twang of decomposition in the air, as you would expect from, say, a cesspool pit or something.
I see. So they have a toilet down here too, or something. Gross.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, let's go in then.
Yeah. Are there any exits from this room aside from the one that we went through?
I literally already pointed out that there's a double door going off to your left, which for us is to the right, and down all the way at the bottom of the room are two large doors.
Mhm.
The double doors are made
Brian.
out of metal, the bottom doors are made out of wood and metal reinforcements.
Well, Brian, where to? They're conveniently ignoring the Elementalist. Although they
Well,
are
maybe we
very
should go
welcome
to
to
these single
input
doors.
also. Okay.
God dang it, I can't get out of my head.
You can't get what?
The mist. Out of my head.
Ah.
Well, Brian, you've entered into a room filled with food, and now you also start to pick up that distant smell of raw sewage. The area is rather thick, as is expected of being down, and it's also, I mean, it's actually warmer than it is upstairs since you're underground. The temperature here tends to stay a bit more stable. So, you wish to go to the southern doors, was it?
Yep.
Yes.
Your footfalls echo off the walls every step that you take. Necromancer, what do you do as this happens?
I follow them, but preferably some distance away, because if they manage to like
That's okay.
take us carefully at a distance. Basically follow them, but carefully at a distance, if that makes sense. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Safi? We're both still here, right, Gomo?
Say again?
I was making sure you and I are both still here.
I'm here, I think. Tef probably got pulled away by family or something.
Okay, you said you were keeping some distance.
Yes.
All right. How much would you consider a decent distance?
Well, this room is probably not, exactly cathedral giant, so a few steps back. Just in case, they run into somebody.
Marvelous. As you go
I
further
won't be
into the room
immediately visible.
and keep your wits about you, whereas Brian moves straight to the door, you become aware of the fact that there's another passage behind you. Around the corner, you can tell that there's another light source further down, creating a shadowy intersection, as it were. As in, the light source that is deeper down provides light in such a way that there's this corner of shadow in between here and there. Brian, you are standing opposite of a big wooden door. What do you do?
So I'm gonna carefully test it to see if it's locked.
The door does not seem to have any means by which it could be locked from this side, at the very least. It merely has a large handle, like a big ring mounted on a hinge.
That means it's probably a pole door.
Possible. Most medieval doors are not that
I can wait for the
sophisticated.
Elementalist to get closer, so he's not super far away. And then I'm going to push on the door lightly to see if I can push it in.
The door budges at your attempt to move it.
I'm going to slowly open it and see if anyone's inside so I can, try to not murder them, but take them down.
It all happens in a rather short moment of time. As you begin to open the door, you suddenly hear a cry. It's a cry that comes directly adjacent from Argus. from underneath the table, where the shadows are strong. After all, the light source hangs directly above. A creature darts out. Argus, you soon feel something sharp against your neck. It's a small knife of sorts. Your natural armor may be thick. With enough pressure, anyone can skin you.
Yeah.
The other door flies open, and a figure appears within. From the shadows, you suddenly see two other figures arrive. Brian, your door is jerked open too, as another gentleman makes his presence known. The biggest and tallest among them, the only non-rat, would like to know the password.
Have we seen the password in one of the books that we found, like the ledger?
Not that you recall, or not that I'm going to tell you.
Okay. Brian, would you like to try and bullshit your way through and guess it?
I was gonna see if I had a bullshit skill.
This isn't low intelligence.
No, I
Fallout,
meant,
where you
like,
suddenly get to say ice cream and it works.
Yeah. Well, maybe it is ice cream.
Ah, ice cream. The food of the rich, if only they can afford a nice ice closet. Oh well. Well, you were asked to give a password. What do you do in response to this? A quick glance over your shoulder will reveal that your friend has a knife to his throat, from a creature that is standing on the table to have the same height as him.
That's silly.
Can I possibly use my personality gift?
Yeah.
Just crafty to try and bullshit my way through this.
Now, the way your personality gift works is that whenever you make a roll on something, you think your personality would help be beneficial in that situation, you just gets to use it. That is not a separate roll you get to make. You have to tell them what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna try to see if I could bullshit some way to either distract them or figure out the password through being crafty.
What kind of bullshit are you throwing at them is my question. Like that, you're close, but you're not quite there.
Okay, there's a few options I'm trying to go through them in my head for which one actually makes sense. Well, one option is trying to see if I can figure out something about them that would give me a chance to sort of like insight my way into what could be a password, but that probably wouldn't work. It's not like the club had swordfish in its name.
Everybody keeps saying
More-
swordfish. I have no idea where that's from.
It's from a really old movie.
Oh.
I was going to try, my main one was to sort of use that mixed with my underworld abilities to try and get them to think that maybe we were added in as part of the workforce or something. Because I do have a lot of skills with, streetwise and shadowy organizations. I actually get bonuses when working with criminals.
So to put it bluntly, what you're going to do is basically con them. Use your
Yes.
your confidence to present yourself as something that you are definitely not.
Yes.
All right. Now that's a role I can work with. In
Is
that
it
case,
possible for me to help them? I do
I'll
have
probably
a
leave this
streetwise-
to the.
that would be a mind deceit roll. Adding
Try
the
on my
d12 for your
crafty
criminal
use.
element.
Okay.
And if you want to, you can
Actually-
indeed exhaust your personality gift for an extra d12. But don't forget, your personality gift is a respite gift. You get it back on a long rest. Forgot to add your...
I think just adding the D12 from my streetwise will be good. So
Sure.
mind.
I don't actually know if you have
Wait,
to
I don't
declare
have
that
any.
beforehand.
I don't even have roll in deceit.
Oh my.
Well, I could add the D12 for streetwise.
You know, does have deceit is Como. Because he's a necromancer, I need to hide all the shit that he's doing all the time.
Yes.
Then I guess you can try to help because you're. I thought
Oh.
I would be good at this.
Excuse me, apparently you can exhaust your personality gift after the roll, so you can always just hold on to it.
In case you need to get out in a pinch.
Definitely. It's like the game has two whole separate exhaustion systems. Protections. Like, it doesn't just have death saves. It has, you can one time avoid dying completely, and then you have, here's a bonus, here's an inspiration, you just get once a day. I think it's a bit better than what 5e does, because at the very least, once your combat saves out, you know to be careful, and you step back. It's got a bit more dynamicism to it. I don't think it works with 5e because of how the discrete HP system functions. But that's all fun and talk. That's a good roll. I like that it says plus extra. That's nice.
Is it possible for me to stack it also and play off each other?
Combo, that's considered an assist check, and that's very different. But
okay, how would it work? Just for the sake of reference.
For the sake of reference, if you want to assist someone, first you declare that I want to help him out with this. I want to add some fluff details, confuse him, something reasonably helpful. And then you basically make the same check. And if you succeed, I think for every success no, I think if you succeed, you just add a d12 or d8 actually. And if you have a special gift, you can increase that to a d12. But let me just look it up for you. Help someone else. Where would I find that? How to play properly. That's 113. Boop. Let's see. No, that's limits. Assists. Here we go. First difficulty task. Second, he's rolled to beat 3. Alright, finally. They grant a master D8 assist bonus. That's it. Don't botch it though. If you botch an assist check, the whole thing is ruined before the main guy gets to even roll.
Yeah.
So don't help if you don't know what you're doing. It's really the point.
I do have pretty high DC. Actually, I have 2d8 in that, so I've been thinking of that. Maybe I could help here.
Alright, let's see. Do these guys have like any reasonable chance at figuring this out? Not actually. Not really. Which is to say that you quickly blurt out some very important sounding words until you eventually manage to persuade them. You probably should calm down a little bit, basically.
Yeah, if anything, what I was thinking about is essentially say we're from the guy in the warehouse who probably saw some nameplate or something, and we're here to check up on stuff. And,
it's very nice that you're interjecting, but I'm currently resolving the action of someone else.
Oh, fair enough.
Maybe the person who's actually talking. Brian, your efforts seem to have worked. As you spin a web of lies and dazzle it around his head, he lowers his guard, and with a small gesture, the necromancer can feel the knife leaving his neck, unhurt. There's still
confabulating.
There's still a tension in the air, as he definitely doesn't look like he's relaxing. But he would like to know what the hell you're doing here, because you are not here at standard normal times. More importantly, as you take a breath to answer that question at all, he would like to. I've just got a small question for you, which is why are you using the surface exit? That's not a good idea. I know the sewer smells, but it's no reason to risk everything. What do you answer?
Well, go ahead.
My idea was also to explain why we used this particular entrance. Is that someone actually died at the warehouse, and so we're kind of in a hurry to get past all the formalities in order to report or what have you. I'm gonna act all exasperated and a little panicked and all that.
You were coming down those stairs really slowly for someone who's in a rush.
Yeah, well, because I can't see in the dark and, falling down old bones and all that. You're, you're small. For you, that's fine. I'm pretty big. I will fall over like a wardrobe.
He has paper. He has glass bones and, titanium skin.
My suit gets cold for this.
I mean, I do have brittle bones. If I fall downstairs, I'm not getting up.
So died.
Gosh, did we see any names in the warehouse?
No.
There were no names whatsoever, no plaques, no nothing. Because it looked like a big office. I expected if it was any sort of reasonable venture, they would have a little plate on the table saying.
For who?
For the
guy that we killed.
No, but why would he have a fucking nameplate? The peasantry can't read.
No, I understand that, but it was a warehouse, so I assume he had the ledger books. It's fine if he doesn't. I'm just saying, I assumed that he was important enough to have a name.
Well, if you have one, you didn't learn it.
Okay, fair enough. The deer guy, I keep forgetting his name. In that case, I'm gonna just play it like this. I'll play it dumb. It's like, hey, I've only met him like twice or thrice.
He squints and scratches his muzzle basically, and he looks. His eyes dart side to side, and then there's this weird brief moment where they glaze over, and then he shakes it. I don't know anyone like that. I'm pretty sure it's just us over there. No deer. Although I know some cattle that work there. You sure he wasn't like a cow?
Was that a cow? Because they're kind of like
No, no, no,
ungulated.
no. This was not a cow.
It was a deer.
He had antlers.
Okay, fair. Yeah, okay. You know what? Fair enough. Not horns, antlers. Uh, I'm going to insist that it was a deer guy.
He was working the books.
He doesn't seem to believe you. Like your attempts to persuade him that there is in fact a deer person there and that that person has died. Every time he thinks about it, and then he just comes with an answer of like, nah, that doesn't sound right to me.
Well, it must have been the cow guy. I mean, I can't really tell them apart.
He eventually
His head was
relents
gone.
that maybe someone else tried to sneak on the turf.
Nice. That's so dumb. Oh, cool. We just killed another spy by accident. Okay, fair enough.
Well, all right. So what are you normally supposed to be doing? Because now that you've reported, I think it's best you get back to your, preferably not by surface this time.
We're usually actually guards in the area. We keep an eye on the outside, but what was happening? We were told to come and inform the boss. We think that was the spy, though.
He looks side to side, scratches his muzzle again. Then for a brief moment, his eyes glaze over. I'm pretty sure there's no deer there.
That's why I said we think we got a spy, and we were coming to inform the boss to maybe redouble security.
He scratches his muzzle. His eyes go side to side. I'm not. That doesn't make sense to me. But if you want to see the boss, which one? Because I can assure you that the boss who's here, he's asleep. Because unlike, you and me, he doesn't submit himself to night shifts.
But night shifts are the best shifts.
If you mean the guy who
The sun's
refuses to
too
give his
bright.
goddamn name, well, he's somewhere else. I don't know where. I don't bother with the transit outside of town.
Of course, you like nights. You're nocturnal.
Yes, night is the best time, lizard.
Night is the time
you
for
like
you
the
and me.
sun.
Let's see.
You're like basking or something.
Yeah, in Ironclaw, they are considered night psycho creatures, which means that as long as they rest every day at the beginning of the night, they get their spit gifts back, or something like that. Doesn't really matter in the end. But as mentioned, it does mean that there is a day-night town going on for the most part. A lot of creatures. There's more activity at night here in this world than in ours. It's a lot easier to keep the streets safe at night since there are people who can just see in the dark or see better. The moon's out. Well, as mentioned, who do you want to see? Like, because they're not too sure what to do with you, and they start gravitating back to their plates, as it were.
Well, we'll just head down to the boats and head back to our area then.
We'll try not to get lost. It's easy to get your boat stuck. Not to mention the fact I'm pretty sure that the dead rise down there every other night.
Tell me about it. I keep hearing them.
Well, you sound really
Well-
nonchalant about it.
With my work schedule, I raise as a zombie every morning. Also,
Do you say that?
I mean, I assume it would, if anything, get some brownie points with the guys who are actually not exactly, uh, you know, in a cushy position. Their schedule probably also sucks. I'll play it off as a joke, but yeah, I don't really see the harm in that. I'd say, har 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 morning coffee joke. you know.
It's always someone who thinks they can do necromancy around here. You
Mm.
best be careful with that stuff.
Wait, why did I say the necromancer? That was me.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe if the token selected, it's possible. Because usually it cues that off of which token you selected last.
Mm.
Well, what exactly are you going to do from this point forward? Like, I need to know what direction you're taking this whole conversation situation thing.
Well,
Well, I
probably do
mean-
some small talk, and then leave.
Well, yeah, head towards the boat direction. We can use that as a cover to vanish.
What leads do you have is what my question is. Do you think you know where to go to find the person that you're looking for?
Well, I don't, but maybe Brian might have. Then again, I'm sorry. Hold on. This. 1 second. Where was it again? Was it? I think it was gifts. Yeah, there we go. So this particular thing says, negotiating criminal service, inquiring about past or future crimes, or deceiving others about your own shady dealings. You may claim a bonus of D12. So I assume, if anything, it would be possible for us to do some small talk, and this way either get directions or some idea.
Well,
We could. What
Oh,
what I
both
think
history-wise.
what I think would be possible is to say, oh man, do you think that spy was here because that excuse me. Could you remind me of the target that we had? Because I completely spaced
name.
out over the week. Not necessarily even the name. He was the son of someone important. That's why they hired us.
Lord Tybalt Orfroyd and his son, Burkett.
Okay. So I would like to use this information to like name drop in a sense in a small talk
So,
conversation. It's like, do you think that
Because
somebody would...
calm down, Como. Calm down. Ironclaw has this already built in. It's the gossip skill. It's a skill used to A, gather information, like in the good old 3.5 days. Or it's a skill used to very subtly steer the conversation a certain direction and figure out what someone's thinking about. The downside is, gossip takes a bit. It's like, the book says that it takes like 50 minutes to get 10 minutes of useful information. This is like a small question, so it takes like 10 minutes at most. But,
Right.
yeah.
Well, my idea was that I would suggest that. Do you think it's because that that new person showed up there like some sort of spy because of the blah 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 important name drop? You said Tibbet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tybalt.
Tibbles, excuse me. Could it be because he's the the bigwig son? Okay, Tybalt. Okay, I can see that now.
I mean, his name is not pronounced English, but you're not exactly the kind of nobleman who would know the proper inflections of the French.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might be able to speak French, but I'm not exactly Belgian.
All right, well, if you want to figure this stuff out without just asking him directly, the way you do that, as mentioned, is you make, I think, a mind gossip check, and since you got the criminal element, you can add that on top too.
So that D12, right?
Yup.
Okay. Well, let's see how that goes.
So, what do you do during this, Brian, as your friend is like spending 10 minutes or so having a chit chat with this guy? What do you do?
May I suggest something?
What do you suggest?
Sneak around and like peek through the doors while they're distracted by the conversation. Do
Less
have a bit.
obviously, I'm gonna try to use my super refined bat hearing to see if I can hear anything through the door.
So, as you aim your echolocation at the door, you, in the middle of the conversation, like all the rats reach for their ears, and they go, "Don't do that indoors!"
Sorry.
Echolocation, that's funny.
Yeah,
It's a
some creatures have what's
reflex.
called the gift of keen ears. They can hear in the ultrasonic range, which means they can hear you scream at the wall.
That's so dumb.
I would like to point out that the language of the bats, night speech, is not screaming, but like echolocation requires a lot of noise to work properly.
That's so silly. I like that.
Yeah. So it's night vision with some asterisk. Besides, you can just open the door and take a look inside. They don't seem to really care about your presence all that much. Which is to say they're very
Okay.
busy with their meals.
I'm gonna look in the door then, while they're busy.
Peeking through the door, the gloomy light that manages to seep through from the torchy chandelier, all you see is a room with a lot of beds in it. They don't look like great beds, mostly because the smell is, musty. These are not high-end beds, shall we say. Further down, however, you see the glimmers of another door.
Well, I can't really go in there at the moment because they're busy. Be kind of suspicious if I wandered off.
If that's what you
So
think,
I'll
sure.
just open this door.
It's another set of barracks.
Okay, so those are probably not the direction I need to really go.
There's another door down there, but I don't think it leads anywhere where we need to go.
Since you're just poking at doors and opening them and just looking inside and then going back, one of the rats close to you is like, "Are you looking for something?"
Just checking the beds out. I mean, we don't have beds where we are, so I want to see how you guys handle it. They don't.
Don't you people sleep off the ceiling? I would like to point out that there are pictures in Ironclaw that indeed depict that bad people do just hang off the ceiling sometimes. So,
yeah, he actually just kind of mutters sometimes, but I have a bed at home.
what I find most funny about the pictures that I'm talking about, I might look for them at some point, but is also that they're just carrying on a normal conversation while they're doing it, which makes it all the
I mean, I do have prehensile feet. It is an ability.
which, by the way, also means that your feet are offhand, which means that anything you can do with your non-dominant hand, you can do with your feet.
Unless I get the gift of ambidexterity.
At that point, yes, you can literally just lie on your back and fight with your feet as if they were sword hands. It's great.
That's silly.
Hey, nothing is silly about picking a lock with your feet and they don't tie it down properly. That's their fault.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is me.
Yucking it up. What's this? Oh my God! No, don't be a don't. What a dummy! All right, Brian. The rat still would like to see if he can help you with it. Although the beds aren't exactly great, but hard to keep things non-rotten down. He points with his thumb over his shoulder at the heavy iron doors.
The water.
Yeah, well, sewer water. It's real musty down there,
Yeah, it gets in everything.
Certainly. Not to mention the corpse smell sometimes seeps in, especially if you. Yeah.
Don't like the way you ended that.
Well, since you're so full of energy opening doors all over the place, maybe you could at the very least try to practice, keep your skills sharp over north. Go to one of the training halls, maybe, or just stop letting the draft in.
Yes.
Sure, let's go have a look up there.
At this point, you get the information you were looking. What were you trying to figure out again, Necromancer?
Well, potentially the relative location of the guy that we're looking for. In a sense, I was trying to make some small talk, kind of ask what if that spy or whatever.
Every single time you bring up the deer, he scratches his muzzle, he looks side to side, and then he gives you an answer that is, he either doesn't believe that deer exists, he says that it doesn't make sense that deer exists, he says that he doesn't know that deer in any way, shape, or form, or he mentions that, just stop being so silly, it doesn't matter.
That is.
The fact that he's acting that way is very suspicious.
It is a suspiciously specific denial, but fair enough. What I meant to do is basically say, bring in the name of the sun in, and to segue that into perhaps maybe.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, you've already succeeded at that. In fact, you've overwhelmingly succeeded. So you've not only managed to get the information out, but no one else here will figure anything out about that either. You just kind of drop it in there. You've heard about you got a big hand. He's like, yeah, oh yeah. The boss being all weird about it. Like, normally, over thieves would take things. I was like, hey, can you capture some people and bring them over there? Nah, I'm not gonna go over there though. Holland Castle's a haunted place. They might enjoy sitting there, but I'm not getting my ass eaten by a ghost.
Okay.
And that happens like in the middle of a 10-minute long conversation.
Okay.
Is that enough information, or would you like to pry further?
No. I think that's enough. I think we might have overstayed our welcome, actually. Also, you just remind me Excuse me, that rat just reminded me of this.
Please don't eat my ass shirts.
He said he doesn't want to get his ass eaten by a ghost. I'm like, yeah, yes.
Brian, north of you, you notice several large canine individuals who use these maces and daggers, and they are fighting against trading dummies, which also have a variety of pockets sewn into them. The dummies are made out of big, burly bags filled with straw and a variety of other goods to give them that nice fleshy texture. They are trying a variety of techniques to familiarize themselves with their weaponry. The Elementalist, as you walk up, pops behind you and whispers something, that he's sensing something unusual about the stones around here, that we might have to leave soon.
It's not good. Also, when the necromancer catches up, I'm gonna hope he tells us where the guy is.
Well, his conversation ends around this point. He probably even took a few bites of the food. You know, keep in the spirit of things.
Yes.
Well, necromancer, your conversation's done. You watch Brian walk over. You can leave the table if you want.
Yeah, we probably should. We'll talk a little bit on the side on what they found, and then pull out.
Brian, you are now close enough that you can actually see that there's another one of those torchy chandeliers hanging off the ceiling. There's a door over to the north, and there's a passage over here that goes eastward to your right. You also can't help but notice that this space of mossy, slimy brickwork and tiled floor, there's a lot of scratches on them too. All have been filled in with moss and slime over time, of course.
Scratches as in like with the claws, or just because of use?
Because of use.
Hmm.
At least that's what a surface glance will tell you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, since I came out this way and they said to do a little practicing, it would be kind of weird if I didn't.
What do you think? Okay. All right. Necromancer, how do you feel about this as Brian takes out his weapon to start giving a few swings?
Well, if anything, I'm going to cheer him on.
Well,
look, it's a team building exercise, if anything.
As you spend a bit of time having some fun, you feel a rumble in the ground. And suddenly, the very slight ambient draft in the air falls to a complete crawl, if not a standstill. You hear a few of the rats.
I said that to stab.
Yes, that is a very good stab. In fact, under the right circumstances, that could kill a man. Instantly, outright, just like that. Which is to say that if they didn't retreat and they didn't soak at all, that would deal 5 damage, which kills people instantly, just like that. Snap. Provided, of course, that their resisting number was 3. Oh, you rolled 2 1s on that. Oof, ow, ow, hurts. Gosh, so many D8s.
Always continue.
You hear some of the rats say, the tunnel's collapsed. They scurry over to the staircase. They vanish out of sight because, angles.
Yes. Should we follow Brian?
Is that the direction that the guy's in?
No, they said that something has collapsed. And then they ran off towards the stairs that you used to come down here.
Then why would we follow them?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, fair enough.
They're somewhere else.
Mm.
So you tell me, where are we going?
Well, I assume down this tunnel at the very least. We haven't checked those 2 doors, though, but...
Yeah, but I thought you got the information.
Well, I did get the information overwhelmingly. I'm just not entirely sure if we did get the information on where he is here.
Yeah, like
talk about the castle.
Oh, he mentioned it. If you didn't write it down, I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I gave you a location.
Yes.
What was it?
Well, I'm retarded. I assumed it was the castle.
What was it called?
I don't remember. I'll be honest, and I'm not going to pretend that I remembered the name.
Well,
so I just completely spaced out on it.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, there can't be that many castles in the area, right? All right.
We walk outside and it's literally like a free real estate kind of thing, and there's like 15 castles there.
No, they go, every home's a castle.
Oh.
Man, home's his castle, Como. They're all castles here.
See, the one time I don't keep my notebook open for the notes.
All right, Brian. They are the rats are scurrying and sounding a little panicked. What do you do?
I mean, these guys are probably a little distracted by that, so I'm gonna try to slip through this northern door.
The wolf creatures indeed they like look down the passage like what's going on. You can indeed just walk over. Like no one seems to stop you from doing so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through this door.
Like part of being a con man is to play the con. Looking into this door, you see a bunch of big chests that are on the ground. Off in the corner is a small table upon which sits a heap of a variety of locks and locking mechanisms. There's a rat who was, up until a few moments ago, trying to pick a lock, but he seems distracted by the distant sound that, came through the door that you opened. He asks if everything's alright over there.
The tunnel collapsed.
The entrance?
Yeah, the stairs.
Oh, no, I don't want to... No. He scurries towards you at full speed. I don't want to get stuck in this sewer air.
That worked.
That was easier than I thought.
Through the passage to the east, you can see a room with doors in it, which also have a variety of locks on them.
I'd pick these locks if I cared.
I mean, you're not going to get a skill up from it.
Those ladders, are they just there, or do they lead somewhere?
They are not part of this scene.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't make any sense.
They are non-canon ladders.
They are part of the Cluedo rules on maps, which is they're not there if I don't say they're not.
Oh, fair enough. It's like that silly thing. It's like, hey, there's this chest-high wall that I could climb over, but it's not like giving me a climb over command.
Brian, once you stand close to this table, which is filled with a variety of thieves' tools, nothing as impressive as your own set, of course, which might not be in your inventory, but it's assumed that you have the basic tools you need. Because I'm not going to keep track of everything. Point is, the table's filled with all these fine lockpicks. Small hook-based implements that are thin enough to fit inside of a locking mechanism, like a key would. There's a set of stairs to the south, but you suddenly, your ear perks, because before the banging starts, you've already picked up on some sort of sound, and they hear boom, boom, boom on the metal door to your south.
Somebody wants in. Or out, I guess.
From where you stand, the door doesn't seem to have any obvious locking mechanisms.
Okay. How does the rat next to us react to the banging?
He seems very concerned by this. As in, he looks over his shoulder, his eyes are wide, his ears are perked, and he holds his breath for a brief moment.
You know what that is?
Might be an
Sometimes it's a
undead.
rat.
And then you hear this... As the staircase to the south is overflown with dirt and earth that just rolls in, as well as several rocks, boulders, and tiles.
Oh, I don't like this.
From this heap emerges an earthen creature with his arms high.
Oh no.
It emits a sound that you do not understand, because you need to be an elementalist, or know what you're doing, to talk to elementals. They are strange creatures.
We have one.
The
We
elementalist
have one.
backs off, and he takes on a very aggressive posture as he starts to ready his, the stance he usually takes when he starts to sling spells around here.
I will follow suit.
I got my knife.
It is then, at first you notice a small glint in the corner of your eyes. It's water seeping under the sewer doors, which suddenly flies open, revealing a skeleton, and behind him, this swirl of water, who, while the earth creature seems to stand with some sort of natural posture, this creature moves jerkingly like it's hanging off of strings off its fluid body. It lets out a vocal call. Let off the hunt, or I will kill you.
What the hell?
It then slacks and raises its arms, and you will have to start fighting to make it out of here alive.
Oh no.
Ah, great.
Because these
I
things
hear what-
are making their attempt to murder you.
And here I thought that maybe us bullshitting through would end up without people dying.
Well, I mean, these aren't people dying; they're already dead.
Well, they're undead and they're elementals. And elementals you can't really kill; they just kind of go away.
Hmm.
Update combatant. Can I set him to a different? No. Oh, do I have to set him to 2? Okay, cool. There we go. All right. I don't know what your roll. I don't know what these rolls look like. Oh, that's how many successes you got. That I think is that true? Yeah, elementals got 3. Okay, cool. Initiative. All right. Initiative works as follows because we haven't done a full run through of this yet.
Not yet, no.
Combat in this game is side-based. The side that obviously goes first. In case of a tie or kind of wiggly room, the heroes go first. It's side by side. Your allies go on your turn as well. It's because again, side. You can go whenever you want to. Simple as that. Your initiative has a whole different purpose. It is to determine how ready you are for a fight, as in how many actions you have to spend preparing yourself for a fight before you can actually get to the fighting part. If you botch your initiative check, which is mind and speed, and in some cases danger sense if you have it, and the difficulty is determined by your distance to the target or if you're even aware of the attack at all. If you botch it, you start the battle reeling. Like you literally waste your first action just shaking yourself off as you're like, caught off guard by it. If you fail, you're able. You just start the fight normal. If you tie, you can take a ready action, but you'll also send reeling. I don't see a situation where that makes a lot of sense unless you have to prepare yourself for something. If you get one success, just the one, you can ready an action. Your first action can be to ready something, such as a spell or a weapon, if you would like it. And then you can take either the reload action or the stride action, which means you can either shift over a little bit or get that arrow already knocked and ready. If you get 2 successes or more, you start with ready, as in you get to ready a weapon, you get to move around or load it, and you start with focus. Which is why, Como, you have the focus arrow on your character.
Hold on. Let me. Yeah, I see it. I had all those sheets open up, so they were overlapping a little bit.
Yes. Now, your turn. You start the fight because it's obvious that the fight's going on. You're not that unaware. So the side goes to the heroes. What do? Who goes first, and what do they do?
Well, I have an idea. I have a particular stunt, which is called Unleash Undead, which means if the elementals are controlling the undead, I can start and infighting in there by doing so. Would that be a reasonable course of action?
Oh yes. In fact, that is one of the intended purposes of Unleash Undead, is that you just fuck with someone if you want to.
Okay, well, I assume that this thing, considering it started talking to us, it is controlling undead because they blocked us in here and they started doing nonsense. And so I would like to force them to fight undead also, and maybe buy us a chance. So how would I go about it? It is specifically a stunt. I am not familiar with how stunts are used.
First and foremost, I don't think that gift requires you to exhaust the gift either, so you can just use it as often as you like. Stunts are the following. I marked them with 2 action icons, but what they really mean is that when you use a stunt, your turn immediately ends. So whatever you want to do, you better do before you do a stunt.
Okay, well, I would like to move as far as possible from that thing, probably put, the table between me and them, and then use it.
Okay. You dash over, gotcha. I mean, you can always, don't forget you start with a free stride on top of the ready you can take.
Okay.
So you can
and the stride is just a 1 square step,
So
right?
if you look at battle stats, you can see that you have a stride, a dash, a sprint, and a run.
One moment, I have too many tabs open. Battle stats. I have stride, dash, sprint, and run. Okay, yeah, now I remember. So stride is 1 square, dash is 3, and then sprint is...
That depends on your stats, but for the most part, yes. That's what they are.
Okay, well, in that case, I would like to dash, and then I would like to use this thing.
All right, I need to remind myself how group targeting works, though, because it's not a fairly common one.
Okay.
Group targeting, how do you work? You know what, how about I pull up my SRD, because I wrote that damn thing for a reason.
Okay.
I wrote my own goddamn SRD. I might as well use it. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Big old Google Doc with all compiled rules. Okay, grip. How do I aim a grip? My scrumpy. Holy fuck, I forgot there's like 105 pages of compressed information. Group targeting. God dang it, how much does it take to load this thing? Oh, it's not even done. Now it's done. Group. Why can you not... why are you being so hard about this game? Oh, it's because it's using the wrong search function. Gah. Group, up to 12 targets. A group is up to 12 targets, each of which is at least near one other target of the group. To declare a group, you take an assortment of targets. As a general rule, you must be able to see all targets. The assortment can be anything from my friends to the guys with the guns. So even just him over there. It should be a brief description that you have reason to know if AK is something you can identifiably use against them. A target of a group attack can retreat on a tie, but only if the strike takes them to violate the near one other. Near being 4 spaces. Like 4 paces. Or spaces. That gets corrected by Google Docs a lot, by the way. Here we go. The maximum number of affected targets in a group is limited by your highest shown result, known as your score. So if your highest is 10, you can only affect 10 in a group of 12. This limitation happens after you roll attack and defenses. If there are too many affected, affect those close to you first. Breaking ties, however you like. If you want to use aim, you can only use aim one target. Sorry. All right. Marvelous. Everything taken care of. In your case, I don't think there's a range restriction on this or anything. So yeah, you just point at that undead and go, kick ass.
As long as I see them, yeah. So I would like to declare the group of undead, which is every single one that I can see. And it says I need to roll will and deceit against 3.
Will and deceit against 3, yes. Let me actually double check. Is there anything else you need to roll? Is it just will and deceit versus 3? If you succeed, the undead will become berserk. This usually doesn't mean much, but if anyone was controlling them, they aren't anymore.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, well, you aim down the corridor. From your position, you can actually see some undead further down there, but they're not close enough, so you can only affect close one with this. You fill his mind with rage and a desire to resist. Which one of these is berserk? It's this one? No, that's sick. It's this one.
Well, you did tell me that the ranges doesn't matter, so I think I might be able to affect those 2.
On fire. Great. Temporary ward, misc A. Ooh, man, there's miscellaneous too. That's overburden. Which one of these is rage? Berserk. Overburdened, fatigued, sick, confused, terrified, enraged. No, I'm looking for berserk. Berserk! In case you want to know.
Yeah.
In case you want to know. Berserk! Oh, no, not 3, 3, 4. 3, 3, 3, 3. Berserk! You must attack and counterattack where possible. Friend or foe, doesn't matter. You want to beat people up at this point. On the plus side, you get to ignore certain negative status effects. So it's actually a positive thing to make people berserk if they're unconscious or fucking around. Anyway, the undead has gone loose, and you are sent reeling as you have performed a stunt.
Yes. On a side, quick question. Is it possible for you to set up more campaigns in Ironclaw for me? Because I kind of dig the system a lot.
We'll get to that when we get to that. Brian, what do you do in your turn?
Okay, so I'm gonna jump on this table.
You take the high ground.
And I'm gonna throw one of my daggers at this elemental since that skeleton should slow down the guy behind it.
In case you want to know about ammo recovery rules, I use the sensible rules, which is thrown objects, big heavy ones, you can usually find. Arrows, however, go missing on anything except I think only a hit, because then they're stuck in someone. Okay. Anyway, if you wish to hurl thine dagger, unfortunately, I don't think that's... Oh, I have set this up right. All right, give it a hurl. You hurl a dagger at the water lady or the skeleton man?
I was going...
The elemental.
I was thinking the water.
The elemental probably is more likely to be affected by that. Good thinking.
Yeah, I was going for the elemental.
Because I assure you that
some tiers, so I'd have an angle.
I assure you that skeletal rules are very unforgiving in the system.
I think we fought some before, or was it zombies?
There were. I don't. Now that you made me think about it, I gotta look it up. God dang it. Let's see, because I know that they were called carnage fungus. They're the kind of fungus that, you know, the ants have where they go insane. No, those don't have most of the rules that are associated with undead. Like, undead are immune to suffocation. They're also immune to critical and slaying weapons because those rely on organs being present, you know, blood being shed. I think elementals, though, are affected by it because they are like a structural shape. They're not just a heap of bones that walks around. They've got a head. Let's see. Elementals, where are you located? 268. Just like that. Just need to know if you're immune to criticals because I don't think you are. You're not. All right, let's see. This is an Undine, or Undine. I don't care which one it is. It doesn't matter. Language doesn't work like that. You hurl thine dagger straight at her. I've got a bad news for you. If you're attacking anyone beyond four spaces, it's not far. You incur range penalties. This mostly means that the other side gets a bonus die, a d8 usually, or a d12 if they're beyond 12 paces. So for the most part, You're gonna have to deal with that, unless, and I don't think if you do, you have something called, I think, sharpshooter. You don't have that, okay? Sharpshooter negates some of the lowers the penalties, but let's take a look. See, I need to roll and see how many successes you actually have. What can she do? Can she dodge? Can she parry? I don't think you can parry an arrow though. She could dodge though. Give me a dodge. Highest is a 6. Your
She gets
results.
1 success.
In that case, you only have 1 success too, which means your throwing dagger only does 1 damage. No, 2. 2, because it's damage plus 1. She will. Boop.
Wait, I thought I was throwing at Stony Boy.
She took 2. Oh, Stony Boy. Excuse me. In that case,
That's
this
why I
is.
have him highlighted.
Excuse me. I'm a little on my feet. A little wiggly here. Stone Boy. Dodge roll. Oof. It's not good at dodging because he's a big old hunk of rock. In that case, none of your successes change. You do 4 damage as normal. Let's roll that soak. Luckily, because he's made out of stone, he's got good soak. Oh, 2 successes. Now, as I mentioned, damage in this game works as it's basically like Magic the Gathering. It's instants. You immediately reduce all damage to 0 after it's been inflicted. In this case, you've hurt him. He has like visible injuries, chips off his rock. He takes more damage from future attacks, and he's afraid. He cannot make attacks. He can counter though, but he can't make his own attacks because he's, a bit more cautious. His morale has been loosened. Does he have anything that would help here? I think he has toughness. No. I'm thinking of his resistance to certain elements because he's like that. Because he's just like that. All right. The Elementalist gets to go. What is the Elementalist going to do? What do you think is a reasonable course of action? Let's just keep it simple.
Lightning bolt.
They duck behind. They don't even have lightning bolt. I mean, they have sunburst, but that's like wait until there's some dudes to shoot. They had a ready action, right? Yeah, they had like focus and everything. Argus, I forgot one thing. Because you have focus, you immediately expend your focus to get rid of reeling.
Okay.
So that's really nice about focus, is you get to do a stunt for free, without the usual risk. Reeling, by the way, in case you're wondering, I think it's mostly A, you can counterattack, and B, everyone gets a D8 bonus against you. Effectively, it softens you up. Because you're like, whoa, reeling from that stunt. Because that's what the word means, it's great. All right, Mr. Battleman, what are you going to do today? Who are you going to shoot? What spells are you flinging today? Let's keep it simple. He knows that the best way to fight these guys is with the opposite element. So he's going to shoot a little... Okay, first he's going to ready because he gets that one for free, because he had a good roll. Can he aim? Can expand... No, let's just keep it simple. Gust of wind! At the gnome. Oh, I need to remember, that gnome... Speed dodge. Ooh, that's harsh. Ooh, that's mean. Because he doesn't have either of those all that well. First is 3. He gets a bonus D8 for range. Cool.
0 success.
So, if you hit... Slaying is a damage type that does double damage on impact. So that's 1 success. It does damage plus 0, so it's 2 damage, and he gets pushed back into the rock. Just like that. Apply damage. 2. None soaked. Wait, no, I haven't soak yet. Soak. Go. 1 success. Okay, so he takes 1 damage. Plus condition damage. He's afraid again. Wait, no, he had a bonus for reeling. I forgot that part. Let's roll that one again so I know a little more information. Cool. In that case, he took a little more. In fact, he took 2 damage, which means that he's now injured as well. The creature flinches as this gust of air blows rock chunks off of him. Dust flies to the air because he just made the tunnel collapse. There's all this loose dirt that gets kicked up into the air, gets stuck to the slimy, mossy walls. And now it is the rat gnome turn. Who is the rat rogue is like a third party, so he acts whenever he does. He's basically panicking. He does not know what to do with the situation. He's like, ah! What did he get? He only got 1, so he has like a weapon ready. He'll duck behind the table with his friend, and he throws up a guard.
I do have an interesting ability, which is a rally. But
Yes.
I don't think I can do it just yet. because
Rally.
it's not my turn.
Everyone can rally. It is leadership and will, and you can provide a variety of benefits to specific people. It can help.
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is there's specifically a true leader. I assume.
Yes.
Yes.
That mostly means that you can also give people focus.
Focus. Yeah. that's
Rally
what
is usually used to get rid of afraid and reeling on people. It's like the big things you want to use it for, is to get rid of someone who's like discombobulated or worse, afraid and doesn't want to attack anymore. And with you, if you roll good enough, or if you roll any success, you can also give people focus, which gives them, gives them a nice little extra boost. Rat Rogue is in cover. By the way, fun fact, guarding doesn't just increase your defense, it also increases your counterattacks. So that's nice. The gnome is, he can't make any attacks, and needs to hide. So he dives into the wall, and spends his turn just kind of working off that fear of his. Also, he only gets one action because he's reeling, so he has to spend his first action recovering from that.
That's interesting.
I need a quick thing of information on that Necromancy Apprentice thing, because if it's considered an attack... Okay, no. Even if it doesn't do damage, attacks make people reeling. The undead is berserk. It needs to beat the crap out of someone, preferably someone within arm's reach. Look at that. There's a lady made of water. The skeleton tries to make noise, but it has no lungs. No air comes out. Instead, it reaches to grapple her. And all you hear is this sharp, supernatural hiss. Did not hit at all. Fucked it up. Highest dies at 2. Walling can still hit if she fucks up her dodge roll. Oh. There are more skeletons about. Spooky, scary ones, I've been told. Spooky, scary ones, I've been told. The skeletons all rush into the room. Here we go. Let's just move them all in there. All of them in there. They all take the running stunt to move in there. Which, in case you're asking, yes, that does mean they are all sent reeling at the end. They're undead. They're not smart. They are doing as they are told and nothing else.
Yes.
If you would like to file a complaint, Necromancer could tell you all about how stupid undead are.
I know.
The Undine decides to drop her gentle facade. You know what? Since you think you're so smart, Mr. Necromancer, she raises her hand underneath your feet, between the cracks and the seams of the tile. Water begins to boil up as she concentrates her power into a particularly nasty effect. She creates a swirling whirlpool that surrounds you and several others near you. How does this one work? And I think this is like a respite gift, so she just has to ready it, and then she can shoot it. Alright, cool.
I mean, it's a free shower, but it's still spooky.
It's a very weird shower, I'll be honest. Let's see.
I don't like showers.
It is a near explosion, so I think she can't... She'll probably try to avoid those undead. If she can. Here we go. Let's make a nice little... No, why is this not... Oh, yeah, because there is a... It's just being goofy, I guess. So this is about to get, like, the water spur whoosh, comes from the wall. This is damage +1, penetrating, confusion, explosion near, resist with will and endurance.
Do I need to roll for that, or did you roll
You
for it?
and the Elementalist and the Rat Rogue must roll will and endurance versus 3. If you score 2 successes, you're fine. If you score 1 success, you're not fine. If you score 0 successes, you're a lot less fine than you think you are.
Is the target 3?
Target is 3, yes. This is basically one of those cool flat rolls. To put it bluntly, saving throws are resist rolls. They are always versus 3. Instead of the usual. I think you get a bonus D8 on the resist because of distance.
Okay, I'll roll another 1d8.
Mind, endurance, and a bonus D8. I need to remember that because it kicks in so early. Alright. I think everyone got 1 success, except for you. You got 2. You're fine. You respond quickly to this incoming threat whoosh, and avoid the biggest trouble. In the meantime, the Elementalist and the other must concern themselves with... I think they both took 1 damage, 2 damage, but penetrating. Penetrating means it ignores armor soak. So if you're wearing armor, it's useless against penetrating attacks. In addition, it's confusion. So if they get confused no matter what. I think status effects bypass damage, because damage is a soak thing. It's completely separate. Here we go. Body damage. Ugh. These rat rogues can take a hit, though. Take a hit. That is... Oh, wait. No. No. He doesn't get his leather armor. Oh, no. His body will. Oh. Whoa. So he takes 2, takes none. 0 is therefore reduced to reeling and confusion. The Elementalist is in a different bucket of boats. Let's see. Soak roll. Body. Target number. No resistances. Soak against weak damage. Double dice rolled. It's not weak. Oh, no, that's just a politeness thing. Gotcha. Well, he takes the damage, so he's hurt. He's a wow-out, as they say. and it's confused. My head, it spins. It spins. Confusion. Let me explain to you. Because this is not D&D confusion. Don't worry. This is not
It's
D&D.
not that bad.
It's not like you're going to start beating on your friends. Confusion is a sophisticated form of reeling. Reeling is that you're off balance, so you're just kind of like, I can't. Oh man, that hurts. I'm all off key. Confusion is that everyone has concealment, and it's basically the reeling that lasts a while. Let's see. Everyone's partially concealed because they can't counter, and all their attacks suffer and defenses suffer a D8 penalty at the end of round maintenance, which is basically a round has ended. I think that's intended to be like after your turn's been and you've been affected. Roll speed of mind versus 3. If they score 2 successes, you remove the confused condition. It also ends at the end of a thing. But they can still attack and they can still do whatever they want. Oh man, it's tick bone skeletons. Not lovely. Lovely. God damn it, Claire.
What'd you do?
You know what you did. It's the same thing as ever. It's your turn again. What do you do?
Mine?
Yes, it's your turn as a whole. It's your whole side.
Now, after this boiling water effect happened, do I have to step outside of it, or...
No, it's gone.
does it-
It's just this instantaneous whoosh, and then it goes away.
Okay, I see. Let me see. Well, here's something that my character might know, but I don't necessarily do. My mortuary sword, is it a good idea to use that against the undead?
Let me actually look this up. I need to know a very specific detail about your mortuary sword because it being unholy doesn't affect it. It's impaling, which requires things to have goo. I think zombies are affected by that, but I might be thinking of something else.
Well, I do have a rod to bash them over the head with.
I mean,
so.
okay. Let me just remind myself because it's either critical or slit or. Let's see. They are immune to impaling. So yes, you are quite certain that a little stabby thing is going to hurt them.
Okay. What about my wizard's rod? Would that be a more appropriate weapon for this?
Wizard rod. I mean,
Yes. It is a bonking stick, I think.
it is a bonking stick, yes. So it would work as normal.
Okay.
As intended, you might say.
Okay. In that case, it would be an action to pull it out.
Yes, it would be an action to ready it. Although, to be fair, a rod is something you can use as a walking stick and generally have out all the time.
That's fair enough. Well, in that case, I would probably have it out. I do like myself a cane. In that case, it would be a dash to move over here, I assume. Over the rat.
Yes.
You told me they're small, so I could probably just step over. And then I would like to bonk this one over the head with it. What would I need to roll for that?
There should be an attack roll under your combat stuff.
Okay, so...
Under combat gear.
I see it. Hold on, not counter. Attack. Okay, so body, melee combat, and that's it against 3. Okay. On second thought, actually, would it be better if I essentially encouraged Brian and gave them a focus? Would that be more reasonable?
It'd probably be better for us to try and actually kill things.
Okay, well, in that case, that's what I'm going to do.
I mean, if you want to encourage anyone, it's the Elementalist who needs it.
You know what? Maybe I should do that.
Because having me be the only one actually fighting is difficult.
Yeah, well, you know what? No. There's like five undead on top of you, so I'm going to try and help. So I'm going to target this guy, and I'm going to roll this.
2 successes. No, you don't roll successes, good sir. You're not there yet. What's the zombie gonna do? Well, he's a zombie. You know what zombies do? They fight back. He tries to wrestle you. Let's see. Counter?
Yes.
No, that's a parry. I want to counter. Brawling. Okay, so the problem with undead is you don't want to be close to them. They are very good at counterattacking. Zombies especially.
Oh,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you try to fight an undead up close, they basically always get a bonus d12 on all their attacks because they're just like that. They love countering, and they're very good at it because they're always hurt, and it gives them that d12. Point is, what your successes look like. You failed, but he succeeds at his counter, so you get whacked instead. Wait, no. Give me a moment. I'm about to commit a fatal mistake. I think he's reeling. Can he counter under those circumstances? Disadvantage claims all attack. Oh yeah, you get a bonus d8 because he's reeling. Don't forget that.
Okay, so I'll roll another 1d8.
If a reeling combatant retreats for any reason...
That's an 8.
Oof. In that case, you succeed. Let's see. What's the damage of your weapon like? Damage plus 2? So do you plus the damage? Got him. Apply damage. 3 damage, please. I would like 3 whole damages. Zombie is dying.
He's dying.
Undead
again.
creatures do not die. When they enter the dying phase, they just collapse under their own magical disjointment. So here's a big fat X. That's overkill. No, just kill him. Just put a big skull on him.
You see, good job.
Put a skull on him. Ugh,
You're welcome.
He won't put a skull on him. Here, he's dead. He's dead. Out of the game. There's just a corpse on the ground now. It doesn't move anymore. Good job. Brian, what do you want to do?
For my turn, I want to skip over here.
Off the table.
I'm gonna jump all fancy like because I'm pretty good at jumping. I'm gonna throw a grenade at this dude.
You're what?
You fools! I have a bomb.
This guy in the back. I'm gonna throw a grenade at him and try to get the others in the explosion.
Actually, this kind of grenade is more like the kind. All right. In that case, use the grenade button. Please add a D8 for, they're all fucked up. Which is a polite way of saying they're all suffering reeling.
1d8. Roll.
Actually, now that I think about it, the way that would work is that they would all have a bonus penalty D8 on the difficulty, which means that the difficulty could be higher. But we'll do that next time. I think we already screwed this one up for you. All right, you huck a grenade at him with... Whoa, that's good. That's good. All right. All the lovely boys. I can't do... oh, can I open this window? It just works? No. What is it? It's speed and dodge. Unfortunately, skeletons are fast. They need, however, 3 successes to succeed. Okay, so this guy only takes 4. Not that much better. I think that's all they can really manage, though. Highest was 3, so he doesn't even succeed. Speed. Okay. Highest was 1. Ooh, that hurts. Alright, let's apply some damage. The zombie takes 4. He does... Soak. I need to soak. I need to soak in the water. Get out of here. Battle stat. Soak roll. 1 success. Reduced to 3. 3 damage. He might not make it. Wait. Send a chat now. Soak. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Zombie is dying. Zombie veteran. 1 success. So he also takes 4 minus 1. Not minus 10, please. Also dying. That's less undead.
Nice.
The grenade shatters. The walls are quite sturdy and are able to resist this with the greatest of ease. Skeleton, you get to roll me a soak. How do you feel about that? Huh? I put a big microphone in his face. How do you feel about this? Ugh, nothing soaked. Which I mean,
Are you aware
I think
that
means...
you're a skeleton?
Sir, are you aware that you are a skeleton?
Yes.
So he takes 3 damage. He's 1 condition. He too explodes. The bodies turn into this shower of bones and viscera. You quickly realize that while grenades are horrendously effective against undead, zombies make for one hell of a mess.
I am so glad I stole these.
The Elementalist...
The rat then looks at me. You did what?
The rat is probably quite confused that you carry such highly illegal weapons with you. Although, luckily, he's not going to rat on you, because that's like a terrible idea. A guy who's grenades, you don't mess with that guy.
The guy who just saved you.
Oh, but that aside, the Elementalist is very confused and dazed. His head is spinning from all of this. What's he going to do? What you can do, Elementalist? I mean, he still has 2 actions. He can still technically go... You know what? He's just going to... Can you rally yourself? No, if you're competent. And he's not. He's all messed up. You really have nothing? I guess you could just throw a spell out there, but it just feels kind of goofy at this point. Well, he'll just refresh his gift.
Why is it goofy?
He'll just refresh his Elementalist Apprentice gift, and then he'll immediately exhaust it to put in his hand... how about a fire spell? He'll put Ignite Fire in his hand. He'll set someone on fire soon. Bad guy turn. Well, actually, first Rogue turn. Rogue recovers from reeling. He stays behind the table. He's okay with how things are going. The gnome has recovered. He steps out of the wall. He raises his hands. And he readies a dangerous bit of magic. You feel the energy suffuse around him. A slight rumble begins to set into the ground. The Elementalist grabs his head as he tries to warn you that he's going to cast something called Quake.
Uh-oh.
What does Quake do again, so I can just tell you what it is-ish? I think it's another one of those explosion effects. It's bad. That's it, though. I thought this thing made you fall over, but that's not the case. Anyway, there's a lot of skeletons missing right now. There are a lot of gone skeletons. The zombie's gone. The skeleton's still fighting, though. Stop skeletons from fighting. is a classic thing to say. The skeleton hoists his hands up. Well, first he's going to aim, because he might be a skeleton, but he's a very angry skeleton. So he takes an action to aim, targeting crosshairs active, and then throws a punch. Amazing. His eyes rolls a 6. Ooh.
Wow.
The Undine. What do you have as a battle attack? Oh, you have nothing. You can break free. That's all you can do. Alright, dodge it is. She dodges this very powerful punch of a skeleton. Keeps her quite busy. The Undine. What are you gonna do? What do you have up your sleeves, lady? Well, I'll tell you what she has. She has water magics. I forgot to add the water magic she's supposed to have. The basic one, not the sophisticated one. I think she just has move and create water. You know, what makes sense for a water elemental to be? Yeah, create water. She can just make it. Let me pull that out of my... Because I'm smart, and I have a whole bunch of these things ready. Her hands... She aims and fires and discharges. Well, first she's gonna... No, she doesn't have it ready, so she's gonna have to go back. No, wait. She's an elemental. She could just pull out of her ass. She dashes back. The water slides up, turns into the sharp arrow, and launches itself at the skeleton. Wait, I just remembered something that she forgot about. Skeletons are immune to critical attacks. So the dart just flies through his rib bones and shatters onto the back wall. It's your guys' turn again.
Gosh.
What do you want to do?
I'm not sure I'll be able to bonk this thing over the head. It looks a little too tough for that.
I'm gonna throw a knife at it.
Okay. I
I'm gonna
could
step
try
forward within range.
and terrify it, but I'm not entirely sure elementals care about feelings like fear.
Also, movement. I was curious about this.
Yes.
So, does dash take my take both of my actions?
No. The only one of those options that takes that is a stunt, which you can still do an action before you take a stunt, is run, and run is the most sophisticated of them all. It gets you everywhere. Otherwise, you can stride, which is just 2. You can dash, which you can make shorter or longer by your stride, or you can sprint, which is a random roll, but you get to add 2 strides in there somewhere.
Okay, then I'm gonna.
Quick note is that dash is always in a straight line, although you can use a stride to move it to the side.
I'm gonna dash him. I'm gonna shank him.
You go knife forward, knowing that if you fail, the rocks from the ceiling will fall on top of your head, and there's no armor in the world that can save you from getting smushed by a boulder. Go! The gnome retaliates in a very special kind of way by punching you. He reels up his fist and whiffs it. You have... Oh, those are all successes. Oh, dear God. I appreciate that it doesn't mention this. But you did like 9 damage with that. Which, the damage track goes to 6. The damage track goes to 6, which is overkill. So I don't think you just stab him. You just... Ooh. Let's take a look at what his soak roll has to say about this.
With a tiny knife, you poke him and he explodes into a pile of
Yeah,
water.
so with all that, you dealt 9. He soaked 2. He takes 9 damage. He
Bull.
I don't know how this works. I don't know how you can stab a creature like this, but I guess that what do you do that causes such a gruesome sight that any of his allies that are close enough would just go, "What the fuck?" and lose their chill, as it were.
I freaking shoryukened him with a punch knife in the face, and then I kept punching, and he's just like not there anymore. Like, what the fuck?
The creature discorporates, as it's called. Necromancer, what are you doing?
Gosh. Well, I would like to... excuse me. It would be... One moment. It would be dash. Yes, dash across the table. I saw someone dead earlier down there. Also, for some reason, the camera is stuck. Hold on. Let me unclick, then click back in. Yeah, there we go. I saw more undead in there, and I would like to repeat the stunt again.
Versus 2. Okay, he's fine. He's recovered from confusion since the last time. Okay, what are you doing? Where's your token?
I mentioned. Oh, I moved it from.
Oh, excuse me. You're under like a transparent token.
Over here. What?
Nothing. The zombie token was still there, but the transparency fucked up what I saw.
Oh,
So
sorry. Yeah. I saw some movement inside, and I thought it wasn't dead, or at least you told me that it wasn't dead, and I would recognize it. Anyway, I would like to frenzy the undead inside the room as well. So I would jump over the table so I could look over this, and since the
there's no undead there anymore.
Oh,
you don't see any undead past the skeletons in the doorway.
Okay. In that case, can I target the Undine? You said.
Yes. What are you targeting with?
Yeah, there is this particular spell, I assume, which is called Torment, but it doesn't quite say what it is. Damage +1.
Torment. You can always go to combat gear. I think this does need some. Torment does damage +1, weak critical. You roll, I think, a bunch of dice for it too. Will, leadership, and extra 2d6.
Yeah, I would like to attack the Undine with that spell.
Torment is the functional equivalent of just electrocuting someone's nervous system. All right, go for it.
Hopefully they do have. First of all, I need to untarget everybody, then target her, and then just attack with it. Right? Attack with Torment. Ready the Torment for the Necromancer. I assume I would need to ready it first, unless it was already readied in. Okay.
So you'd have to ready it, and then you have to do it on. Sorry, you're gonna have to wait until another turn.
Yeah, I'll have to wait another turn, and it tells me that I need to refresh the apprentice for the necromancer. Excuse me, necromancy apprentice.
I don't know why that's exhausted. I don't think you use it for anything.
Yeah, I haven't.
The stun doesn't use anything. You should have recast. You should have that. So it's
not.
Oh,
right, because at the start of the combat it didn't refresh. So man, I would have to.
It should have done that. I think it was because you clicked the button to show the stun thing. Maybe that might have been it.
Maybe.
Because it automatically exhausts gifts when you show them. It has a little pop up.
Maybe. In that case, I'll just wait until the next turn. But I'm gonna move into position over here.
What's the Elementalist gonna? He's gonna ready a spell, but he doesn't know what's gonna work here because a lot of his spells don't really work that well on skeletons. Turns out, idiot Elementalist doesn't have anti-skeleton spells. To be fair, do you have anti-skeleton spells? I bet you don't. Oh, he does have one, but they're a little excessive for what the situation demands.
He'll just gotten rid of most of them.
He'll get move air out. He's got a handful of air. He's gonna throw at him. Pocket air. Whoosh. Oh, he had ignite. Oh, he had fire ready. Sure, why not just aim at that point? Aim, give it a go. Hurl some fire. Set that skeleton on fire, baby.
Skeleton should burn pretty well.
Let's see. It's versus defense, which means if the skeleton fucks this up by botching, it's going to be all the more hilarious. He has to counterattack. He can't. So guess who takes a dodge roll? Highest is a 5, so still just 1 hit, which means it's 2 damage, and he's set on fire. It's not good. I can assure you that's not good. Oh, wait, Skeleton gets a bonus. It's a bonus 1d. There you go. Alright, Skeleton, let's soak. Let's soak 2 damage. Botch all once. That increases the damage by 1, which I think means the Skeleton just explodes.
That's funny.
Because he soaks -1. So he just gets dying. A fireball flies to the air and the burning.
I thought you didn't have fireball.
It's like a mini fireball. It's like baby's first fireball. He's very surprised at this. There's no gnome.
That it worked?
The skeleton's gone. To the best you can tell. The Undine, well, they see what's going on. They're not going to stick around for this. See ya. They dive into the sewer water. And being an elemental, they can just swoosh out of here.
That's pretty cool.
And now I'll join the other undead and the gnome and oh god.
Yeah, they know what's going on out there. It ain't good. The little rat you're next to. He's a little shaky boy. It's like, oh man, what's going on? Normally there's not that many undead, and especially not elementals. Those don't come to towns.
Oh, this one did.
I told him we shouldn't start dealing in human trafficking. That's how you get vengeful undead on your doorstep.
Wait, hold on. Would they really use the human trafficking thing if there are no humans?
Well, it doesn't have to be them. Well, yeah, thank you, Como. Thank you. People trafficking. Is that better? You happy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is a little bit. Like, there's too many fantastical different peoples and animals. That was terrifying, honestly.
That was fun. I picked up my knife from that dead one.
You sure do. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So this all probably happened very recently. How long has this been going on, Mr. Rat? I don't know everyone's names here. I'm kind of new to the area.
What's been going on?
The undead.
The undead.
Well, you just kind of.
This new?
I'm not gonna have to tell you this. Your characters already know that like undead in general just kind of pop up if you dispose of a body improperly or someone gets killed in a particular event. They show up a lot in battlefields just like that. And this is a sewer. If they dump bodies here at all, you're gonna get undead.
Mm.
If only because necromancers, wannabes get down here and they start raising the dead.
Like you.
He does mention that it's a little unusual for there to be a bunch of them at once.
Mhm.
Because normally it's like one or two. It's not like a whole army suddenly starts knocking on the door. They're also quite aimless. Undead don't know what they're. Undead can see you in the dark. That's something you would know, Art Necromancer. You know that undead
Yes.
they have one of the rare few things called dark vision in this game. They can see living things in the dark no matter what. But they can't see through solid objects.
Hmm.
So like the door should keep them out.
Okay. That makes
Just
sense.
meant that they were targeting this area since they were going after us.
Yeah,
From that elemental.
They
the
were
element-
being controlled by the elemental, yeah.
The Elementalists, yeah, that's kind of unusual. The Elementalists can't really control the undead, so far he knows.
Well, you stay here. We'll go check down this way where the elemental is.
He spent some time just patching himself up. He'll
Well,
be
he
busy with
wasn't
that for a
looking
while.
hurt, I think.
Hmm?
I don't think he was hurt.
Yeah, he got hit by that maelstrom.
Oh, by the water. Yeah. Okay.
Shadow, you look out.
Brian, you okay going down there?
Well, I was hoping you guys would come with me.
Well, I mean, I will. I'm just saying, is this the right way?
Well, it's the one direction we haven't gone yet.
Among other things, but yes.
Because that door next to you goes to where we've already been.
It does? I'm gonna
Oh,
open
shit,
it.
come on.
That's the
Okay.
training room.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna close it. Look, I'm spatially what's it called?
Inept.
Challenged.
Yes, challenge. No, spatially challenged just means I'm too big or too small.
Sure.
Spatially inept, that's better.
Alright, so yeah, let's go down.
I give you the okay sign.
The white power sign.
I was actually going to joke. I give you the white power sign, but I figure too few people will
I
get
made
that
it
one.
for you.
I think it works better that way. Yes.
Oh my God, today Safi is throwing okay signs. Tomorrow Saf is going to be doing this. There, it's in the thing.
What am I gonna do? Oh, it's taking a moment to load. Come on, load, will ya? I want to see what I'm being accused of
that
doing.
monster. I love that one though. That's great.
Load.
It's
Or
horrible.
it's not loading for me. It's in fact giving me an error message.
Try opening it in the browser.
No, the browser's giving me the error message.
Oh, hold on. I'll just upload it real quick. One moment.
That is so terrible, Como.
I know, but I had it for a while on my computer, so I wanted to share it.
Anyway, Brian, stepping outside. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, your super cool echolocation stuff isn't exactly great for seeing colors or anything, but you can tell that you're surrounded by slimy, mossy surfaces, soft ones. And then the light source comes in. You are standing in front of, well, you're inside of a sewer as, oh, let's take a look at this thing first. Oh my god. I just noticed it took me a second to realize what was going on.
I know, it's one of those things that you have to look at it from.
I know, it's
Oh,
very
that's-
subtle.
I'm not shaking that hand. Get me off fake. It can be a stunt hand.
Yes, that's how it starts. First you start throwing okay signs, then it's this.
Then I start editing my handshakes.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, you edit other people when you're shaking their hands.
Anyway, you two notice that you're standing in front of what seems to be a small dock, in front of which are, they're not boats, they're more like big barrels that have been hollowed out for this purpose. The water is thick, not a pleasant kind. Very, sewagey, shall we say. But not like, it's more like this has been here for a while. The sewer probably isn't in active use, but the cesspooliness remains.
Mhm.
The smell is unbearably bad. It's
Yes.
very just an assault on the senses. But what are you looking for in specific?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, since I wasn't there to get the information, where the person we're trying to get would be.
Or at least we found the boats, so that would lead us to the castle.
This can take us to the other place where we were before.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have no guarantee this can take you to this castle you heard of, though.
Oh. Well, the ways out have collapsed anyhow, so this might be the only way out.
They could probably dig it out in a bit of time.
Yeah.
Well, we could try to slip by the barracks into the doors below just to see what's in there then.
Can you do it sneakily enough?
I could try.
You can literally just close the door behind you. There's no one else in the room. What are they going to do?
No, he meant down over there. Oh, well, you know, in the barracks, yeah, it does have a door. Fair enough.
The individuals in this room are... They're digging out the whole thing, and they're dealing with... some of them are a bit injured and trying to recover. But for the most part, they are fairly distracted by the harrowing experience of fighting a bunch of walking skeletons and zombies. Eyes and body parts slinking off of... sloughing off of skin. That's a nice way to use slough. It's not good for spells, Paizo. Ugh. I stopped watching those guys because I just cannot stand that asshole. God damn, what a whiny baby.
Wait, who?
Derek.
Oh.
The guy who got, like, super piss baby because he... My corporation friend! My brand! Ugh, god damn it, man. I know shit sucks. But I've come from the gamosphere, and that's all we had for years. The shadow slinks into one of the rooms and then opens the door further south. There's no lock or anything on it. The doors don't seem like they support such a mechanism anyway. Beyond it, you find a room that is filled with, well, it's a nice desk. Papers are kept here.
Is there any paper that looks important? I know I can't read, but...
Unfortunately, due to your lack of reading ability, it's hard to tell if these papers are important. In addition, this room is a bit dusty. Your super senses can pick up on dust very easily. I would also like to remind you that if anyone sees you using echolocation, you generally have your mouth open the whole time, which is a bit unpleasant.
Well, if there's nothing important there, I'm going to assume the other one is also an office.
Maybe the literate person should come along with you.
All right.
I'll drag the Elementalist with me. He's literate.
I mean, I'm literate too.
Yeah, but you're big.
So?
He's a fennec. He's pocket-sized.
No, they're not.
They have a body D8.
I know, I'm just joking around because...
Combo, follow him, quick.
Get in here, Como. Don't collide with walls. Some of them have collision.
You find yourself inside of another small office. Unlike the other one, however, which mostly had pens and writing supplies, this room has a variety of flowers, a pestle and mortar, several nice flasks, and the like. The first thing that catches your eye is that there is a nice envelope, which has like a wax seal on top, besides which lies a small folded letter.
All right, let me take a look at that.
Boop.
Boop. The following text was found besides an envelope which had an ornate wax seal. The letter itself smells of chemicals and is freshly stained. The back side is littered with chemical formulae that are indecipherable.
Yeah, I
Colleague,
can read it too. It's open.
colleague, and oh, okay, fair enough.
What?
Oh, it's open, so Coma doesn't have to read it aloud.
Gosh. But that's just fun to do.
But you're illiterate.
I know, we could just assume you're reading out loud. It's easier that way.
Bah. Excuse me, that's not Dewasser, it's Dunwasser. Which means thin water in German.
Does?
Yeah.
That reminds me. Somebody was streaming like GTA 5 for me at one point, and apparently they have a beer brand that's just Pisswasser, which is funny.
I mean, in Oregon we have a beer called Arrogant Bastard.
Nice. All right, well, you're
So
having a look
things
at
are
all
not
this
worth it.
stuff.
Okay, so scientists.
Big smart stuff, yes.
Hold on. I beseech you, post haste. I wish I understood those words. I remember them from somewhere, but I don't remember what exactly they mean.
It's basically like, please.
Please come quickly.
Okay. I think I finished reading this.
So, anything of importance?
Doesn't look like it. It's
In fact,
mostly just...
most
Yeah.
paperwork here appears to fall into the category of entirely related to criminal activity, but not necessarily something that helps you. However, you do find the name of that place you're looking for again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chit chat about going to the Howling Castle.
Mhm.
Well, it's definitely not this little area here.
Unless it's meant ironically.
Come, necromancer who doesn't have a name.
But just call me the necromancer. That's name enough. Hold on. I'm copying this into my notes.
I mean, to be fair, that is like calling someone the murderer.
I mean, if that was my profession, I would probably insist I'd be called a murderer because it's descriptive. I
I'm a
think it's
murderer.
perfect. Yeah.
All
What
right.
do you do? Well, like, state your name, your occupation, and profession, or something. Or was it? Hold on.
Murder, murder, and murder.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I meant Mulder.
I'm a molderer. What's
There
that
you
mean?
go.
I kill people.
That's easy enough to find. There.
God dang it.
God, I miss this show.
All right, kids. What's your next big step?
Well,
I miss Harvard, man.
it's probably a reasonable idea to actually use the boats to get out of here, because this might take a while, and we don't know if how fast they're going to process the guy, and we also don't know if the other place also got attacked by the elementals.
You also don't know if these sewers go all directions. Like, there's no guarantee that any particular passage you decide to take even leads you anywhere significant.
Dang it, that's true. Well, I guess we'll have to wait for them to finish digging it up and then go back out the same way for the bakery.
And what do you do then? As you...
I mean, as far as they know, we were guys who were helping out with, killing these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is your next step?
Well, go find the castle.
Sure.
Which we'll probably be able to get some information once they're less rattled.
You want to ask these people about that?
Yeah, possibly how to get there, because, I mean, they don't have any reason to distrust us now. We helped them.
Ask for directions. It's like, hey, city's a mess. Haven't been here long enough.
Well, as mentioned, there's really no reason for them to keep the secret of you, since the Howling Castle is something that most people around here know about. Originally, some people call it Old Fort Cage de Bray. It's French, so anyone who knows the fancy stuff knows that it's a cage d'arbre, which means the cage of trees. It's also called the Howling Castle because of strange noises on windy days. It's one of those big old breezy type buildings, as they like to call it. It's an old fort. It lies near the small lake on the Lior River. Supposedly, it was used back in Avoirdupois days when this was like a border town. Shifting borders has become obsolete, and thus it has fallen into disrepair, and thus has become known as the Howling Castle. As a result, it's a decent place to set up a criminal activity.
Well, fingers crossed, that's what we're looking for.
Should be too hard to find, either. And so I'm going to put you on the map, and the next time, we'll see how that all pans out. We'll assume that it's the next day. You have all that time to replenish all of your fine respite gifts.
Nice.
I killed the hell out of an elemental.
Very lovely.
I mostly just hit a thing with a stick and made other things mad.
Normally,
I mean, it worked.
again, we're kind of playing compressed version here. Normally, at the end of a session, you have a debriefing. You give experience for that. You see if you live up to your motto, and you get experience for that. You get gifts for goals, but only at the end. This game knows the
Oh,
important.
that's important. We're supposed to have a motto.
Yeah.
Hold on, it should be in the biography. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Safford put them for us.
Which is good.
My motto: first toil, then the grave. Okay, but my toil involved the grave.
Well, yeah,
But
you come up to someone, you toil them real hard, and then they go into the grave. That makes sense, you know. And I really
So I
like
think that I got my resolve one: stand firm in the face of death. What's more in the face of death than multiple skeletons?
Mine is knowledge is belief and belief is power, which is kind of accurate, yes. I like that. I did, however, not overkill anyone today. Wait, no, I did no, I didn't. Never mind.
it was the other guy who did that.
Yeah, and I didn't have what do you mean, the other guy? You mean Brian or
Yeah.
Yo,
what?
I mega
That was
killed
right
the
here.
guy.
Why'd you call him the other guy?
Because again,
Yeah, and I didn't get the chance to create undead, unfortunately, but eventually.
anyway, you're all on the map. Here you are. Boop.
Sorry for coughing a lot.
The next day, you trek into the woods to find this mysterious Howling Castle, and soon enough you find it. The place is very much overgrown by the local wildlife, and as you peel your way out, you eventually see signs of life and activity. A small campfire surrounded by small sleeping tents, and a somewhat larger tent. There's efforts made to cut firewood, and you see a person standing near the castle. Near a large wood-locked door. From even nearer, you can see the small lock dangling off the door handle. This whole structure looks somewhat dilapidated, but if your information is correct, this is either the next leg of your journey, or perhaps where you can find them. All depends on your luck.
This is not Howling Castle, but it's Howl's Castle. But I've seen a very nice joke about it, and if you've seen the movie, you might appreciate this.
Are you winning, Howl? The heck?
It's a scene from a movie.
The heck, I say. Because I can. And I want to. Alright, well, next time we do some more. This time with a dilapidated castle, with all of its mysteries. Can our heroes find the fine fellow before things get too bad? We'll find out next time. As they approach a castle, surrounded by goons and mooks.
Yes, that's the scene. Beep.
Beep.
Castles are nice. I would love to own a castle one day.
I mean, they sell them.
Delightful.
Yeah.
What's this? This is where I watched my parents die, Jesse. If they were crystal beasts, they would go to ST zone, but as a continuous spell instead of going to what?
What are you looking at?
What the fuck is he talking about? Sila, please explain.
Okay, what?
Oh god damn it! It's Claire saying things.
Claire speaks
Oh,
in
here it is.
tongues.
Okay.
Oh, the spell trap zone as a continuous spell instead of going to the graveyard.
So the crystal beasts, when they're killed as monsters,
God damn it!
they become spell and trap cards because other crystal beast cards rely on having a certain number of them in play.
I'm wiggling. All right. Well, if everything goes all right, next time we'll finish this up.
Yay.
Also, the crystal beasts fucking suck.
Sad.
Hey.
They have this whole thing where you need to get a whole bunch of them on the field, right? Which means it's going to take you like 5 or 6 turns to actually make them do anything in a game where a second turn is a joke.
Sad. So how are you liking
Also, that
Ironclaw,
kid was
Sila?
I'm enjoying it. The system is interesting. I like having the flexibility for how the checks work out.
I think it works
It's
a
a
lot
little
better
less,
if you just use
rigid.
real dice. Like, this system works way better with real dice because, one, you instantly see all the dice available and the score and everything. I think this... I'm going to say this from the perspective of, like, I'm surprised this exists at all. This is a rare game that, one, uses dice to their fullest, like all the polymorphics, and two, is a rare time when a dice... When the way they handle the dice works way better in person when you're all sitting around the same dice pool, as it were. Like even Shadowrun doesn't have that. It has a lot of dice. I like it a lot. It's something else, something fresh. Also, it's inspired me. I like this a lot. But that was nice. Trying to polish up my GMing style as we go along. Ugh. Oof.
It was nice. You, as usual, you do nice voices and like screen descriptions and everything. I've had DMs that are a little too monotone about it, but you
Really?
sound
I always get the feeling my descriptions not exactly demean much.
they're interesting. Like you describe the sights, the sounds, the smells, that sort of thing. That's really nice.
You also do different voices, which are nice.
Yeah. Um, a stupid question again. So I would like to try and run that tiny little adventure thing again, which is like, one shot, but it's gonna take like 3 sessions probably.
What are you talking about, Como?
Pogorp thing, the like the little intro adventure for it. I've been thinking, would you two want to try it? Because I want to try it in a controlled environment in the sense with people I know.
It's gotta be 5e, isn't it? You know,
Probably 5e, because that's the one I'm most familiar with.
you can use my server and everything, the Zata server, to see if some people are interested in playing it with you.
Yeah, but I know some people. I can't remember who, but I had a couple of people saying they wanted to do some tabletop stuff.
Hey, you could do it on a different time, different day. Keep this going while we're
I
doing
can
that.
ask I have a few people I know who wanted to do tabletoppery, so I'll remember who they were and then ask them if they
Hey,
want
like
something.
my Thursday game is falling through, so it's not, so Zyla technically has like a slot open mentally. It's also a one shot, so hey, easy done.
Also, I give you the greatest monster in Yu-Gi-Oh.
What?
God dang it, the Crystal Beef Arnold Mammoth.
That's an elephant.
I can't believe it. Even though Naruto says I should, I don't believe it.